Hey everybody, I'm APH, and well, I'm on my test game, and this test game is to try out the new mechanics of the beta branch, and I have spent a good deal of time setting up this water system, and well, I think we need to talk about this water system as it doesn't perform quite the way that I expected. It is producing a ton of power. The amount of water that it takes to run it is not equivalent. So the first thing that you need to know about the beta branch about power creation. Let's go ahead and bring back up the UI so I can bring up our power. And if I go to the water wheel, you're going to see that it is now 90 horsepower per cubic meter per second of water flow. And the thing that you need to know about cubic meter of water is in order to pump 1 cubic meter, you have to withdraw 3 cubic meters. So when the drought hits, it will literally just empty out this reservoir. Now I created this test game to have this big of a reservoir, and it is not enough to feed these 3 mechanical water pumps during the time of the drought. Also, something that you need to know is we'll zoom in. You can see that the water is just barely touching the surface there. I might be able to get like part of one more row and recycle part of the water. The reason you're seeing this trench here is I initially had it looped back this way, and I couldn't get it to work, and I couldn't get it to work, and couldn't get it to work, and couldn't get it to work until I broke it off to the edge of the screen. Now, I think there's another option to do this where you place it up a layer, and once it's up a layer, it can loop back around. But the problem is you're still going to run out of water at the speed at which it pumps. So even though these are taking 21 total horsepower, 2100 total horsepower to create, and they are outputting 4,185, it's a lost leader. And if you're on, well, what about the windmills over there? The windmills are on a different circuit. The only windmill that's over here is this one right here that's paused, and it's paused in order to kind of give the jump start in order to get this going. As if the system stops, it needs something to get it going, and once it gets going, the moment the first wheel starts turning, it powers itself. So it is a nifty concept, but it is a broken concept. And as long as we're in here, let's talk about some of the other things in the expansion here, in the patch. So we have a mud bath, and it exits on the upper deck, so it is best to probably drill a hole in the ground and plop it in there. You can see beavers immediately go jump in there. You can see it boiling mud. I guess I can slow down the speed so it doesn't look like they're completely going We have our observatory. I had it paused because I was trying to get this up and going. And we've got our mine. That is this nifty guy here. It takes a ton of materials to get it working. So you have to have 1 gear, 1 treated plank in order to make 1 metal ore. And then it goes over here to the smelter where it takes 2 ore to make 1 metal block. And so it's a very inefficient route. It also takes some horsepower in order to kind of get it going. I have not built everything in the game. I tried placing the water farms down on the bottom of here and found out that you cannot have the water farms, the water plants, that is, that deep. They can only be one tile kind of off the ground, or 1 tile underwater. So you have to create a pool that is 1 deep. Once it's 2 deep, it does not accept it. We have, according to the internet, it is a Lito, and that is this guy right here, and it looks kind of interesting. It has to be underwater by at least 1 tile. If it is not underwater by at least 1 tile, it doesn't cause the service area, and that's the ones that I've built so far. I will be doing some experiment with the chestnuts and with the other food, but for the moment I was more focused on seeing if I could get this work. And what we might do is go into a little bit of a time lapse. There you have it, guys. About 0.8 away from the end of the drought, 0.8 days that is. We ran out of water, and this is why I only have a population of 29, is I did not expect this to drain this much water. And That was something like a 9-day drought. It drained all of the water from in here. Somewhere around day 4, day 5 mark, it passed underneath the water pumps. So at this point in time, all of the crops are dying. The only area that's still viable is right here. I had to add additional water tanks in the last season in order to kind of get them saved. This is an absolutely horrible idea. It's amazing how well it works, but the amount of water that I would need to sustain this would be double what this is, and that would be for a 9-day drought. If I was going to hit a 35-day drought like what I have right now, we would be looking at this whole entire map would have to be water. So this is 4 deep. My reservoir that's 6 deep, it would drain the reservoir in a 35-day drought. Hands down. Now they go 4 deep, which is pretty much as deep as the trench is. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the regular episode later on tonight.